Hello, my beautiful humans of Pulse Chain, future Pulse investors, crypto investors. Hello, hello. I am Whitney Magic, and I'm so pleased to be with you this evening. Tonight, there's been a topic that I've been chatting about with a lot of other friends, and I talk to my students about this a lot as well. And it's really about like one of the keys to aligning to changing times, aligning to the future. One thing we know in the world right now is that uncertainty is a given. And I find that if uncertainty is a given, how do we develop the tools, the skill sets that we need, the mindset that we need to be able to lean into change and embrace it? Because that's the one thing that is not going away in our lifetime. So I have this one beautiful visualization concept that I'm going to drop in for you all. I think that it is going to I believe it's going to hit in your world and it's going to stick with you in a way that you'll be able to see it. Layer it into crypto, layer it into your money mindset, layer it into other endeavors that you do that may challenge you at different times. We're going to get into that. First, I would just love to be able to hear and see if anyone would love to drop in a comment of where they're tuning in from, how you are doing today. I would just love to be able to see who all is here with me tonight. And as I wait for people to drop on in, I'm actually just going to drop straight on into this. So the visualization, the thing that I love seeing is this little question to ask yourself is the world is changing today. The future is being built in every single moment. And the question is, would you rather sit on the sidelines or would you rather step into the arena? And this part, like the arena, is really the grand thing that I've been feeling. I notice it for myself where there are times that really test me, when there's new levels that I'm stepping into for myself. I feel this feeling of oh my God, I'm stepping into this arena, this big feeling, this space that scares me and may be filled with a lot of unknowns. But the question is, would you rather step onto that stage? Would you rather be in situations or environments or with peers who amaze you, who are also doing things that are part of building the future? Would you rather step on into that arena and onto that stage with those people to become peers, or would you rather sit on the sidelines? And I find social media is a really beautiful example of this. Is you could just be someone scrolling through, or you could be someone creating, or you could be someone speaking or influencing. I find this a funny word, but dropping thoughts in and adding and contributing to spaces rather than sitting on the sidelines. So it's in this component too that I really love to bring it to investing in general, to ask myself, even when it comes to investments, is this an investment that I'd rather sit on the sideline or I'd rather be in the arena? Would I rather keep my money in these other investments that I feel really excited and secure about, the Pulse Chain side of things, the Hex side of things? Would I rather keep it in those sides of things? Or would I like to step into the arena of certain meme coins or certain smaller cap coins? These are conversations in the inner dialect that I love to have with my own self. And so granted, we could use it for investing, but more than anything, I love using this example of stepping into the arena, mostly around our personal life, our personal development of how we're doing certain things. So I'll give another example, is typically the thing that when there's next level calling us in our personal life and personal world, that may be the thing that scares you and terrifies you the most. There may be the most amount of doubt that comes up. There may be please, can you show me a shinier sign, please? Can I have more clarity? Can I have more confirmation? Please, please, please. Because we wonder, I could have 1 foot in, 1 foot out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And this is constantly questioning. This feeling is, do I sit on the sidelines or do I step into the arena? So I've even for my own self, I'll bring it back to a big moment for me, which has been over the past year, which was even just speaking about crypto publicly and teaching about crypto and really owning this stage. This was something that was nerve-wracking for me. And I constantly would go back and forth. There was a season, it was a little over a year ago, or well over a year ago, that I was going back and forth with certain friends being do I do this thing? Do I pivot? Da, 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 da. And the message I kept getting from everyone and randomly in life was, you have to be 2 feet in. You have to be 2 feet in to figure out if the situation works for you or not. And I find the same thing goes with anything, but really with crypto, as investors, is especially when you are the most hesitant, when things are risky, when things are the most hesitant, you don't trust in yourself. You are 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We know that energy. Yeah. And then when we're also in that energy, we also start to question our own self, and it may actually start to impede in our own layers of self-trust. So like, let's say you question yourself. You don't know where you sit. You don't know where you stand. You're like, am I in the arena? Am I on the sideline? I don't know. Can I step into this arena? It's so big. Ah! If that's the case, you're probably sitting on the sidelines. And then what you're doing is you're creating this little narrative of, oh, but I was actually in the arena. And see, when I was in the arena, it didn't work out for me. Ah! But that's not true. That's not true. So that little narrative would have you feeling and starting to lose trust in yourself, to be like, I can't do it. Actually, maybe this is too hard for me. And I find inner self-trust, like the whole concept around trust is like life is literally all about trust. So if your inner trust is being eaten away at little times, that's quite a dangerous game to play. And the reason that can be getting eaten at is because you're like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if it's for So I bring this up because when you can really start to see it for yourself and just be like, ooh, this thing that is ahead of me, it scares me a little bit. It scares me a lot. Welcome to the future. The world's going to be changing constantly, and we're just going to need data points to be like, do I trust in myself enough to be 2 feet in? Do I trust in myself enough to be 2 feet in at this time with this decision? What's it going to be? So just remembering that change is not going to be going away in this world by no means. You constantly get the decision for your own self of, do you want to feel empowered? Do you want to build trust within yourself? And do you want to be 2 feet in on a decision? When I find the period of also just making a decision to be 2 feet in can also feel like a lot at certain times. It can feel anxiety driven, it can feel emotional, it can feel resistance, it can feel self-doubt, all the things. The feeling of that, I like to say, is pressure building within. And yes, it can feel emotional, but more than anything, it's just energy. It's just pressure that is there. And a lot of times during that period, what we're doing is we're simply collecting more data points. Data points to be able to understand, can we do this? Do we want to move in this direction? And then you're going to hit those moments where you're going to be like, oh shit, like, can I actually do this? This terrifies me a lot. I know I have to make a decision now. I know I'm supposed to be 2 feet into the arena, but I can't. I fear this. Ah! Life is changing. The future is changing. The future is filled with uncertainty. We know this. We know that this is a guarantee. So, when that anxiety comes up, when those changing times come up, what I love to do for my own self is just to be like, oh, I identify for my own self. I am nervous. I am uncomfortable right now. And I also know that change is going to happen in my world. I have something to learn about myself, and I get to make a decision of which way I would like to turn. And so if there's anything like that in your world today or coming up, or you can witness this in another friend as well, just simply use this as an example and to be like, oh, this pressure is here. It's not negative. Yes, it may be anxiety. Yes, it may bring me to a lower breaking point. Yes, it may bring me to that point where I'm just like, oh, I surrender. This is it. That time, that period, that moment is really important for you, because it's in that moment that you choose. You choose, are you sitting on the sideline still? Are you going to stay there? Or are you going to step into the arena? So just use your emotions, use your energy, use those feelings that live within you to recognize where you are at in the cycle. The pressure that is there does not have to keep you in a loop, and does not have to keep you feeling victim forever. But everything will pass, emotions will pass, energy will pass. If you can collect the data points and the signs that are being presented to you, you make a decision and you move. A lot of times I find, like, for my own self, I'll just share. A lot of times I like shame myself for my process of, why am I not moving fast enough? I'm behind. Like, I need a decision now. And that's like an example of like the pressure for me. I often feel behind. I feel behind in a lot of ways of life, even though I know that I'm very ahead, and I'm not ahead, but I'm perfectly on time. So I don't know if you can relate to that as well. But this is one example that I really love to use it when, like noticing when I feel behind, when life feels hard, when I have these stories around these certain things. That is all there to actually recognize and remind for me that actually everything's going to course. And that I'm probably being brought to a closer breaking point. I'm probably being brought in closer to a decision in my very near future. And things are starting to shift. But in the meantime, what I'm doing is I'm collecting data points, inner data points. So see, we have 13 beautiful souls on this call. I would love to drop in if you want to say, hey, check in where you're at. Let me know if this lands. If you're feeling anything like this in your world, would love, love, love to hear who is on this call. Live streaming is so funny. I'm literally talking to a screen. And I love my people so much. I love connecting with humans. It's so different than Zoom or in-person stuff. So I just love interaction. But if anyone has anything to share at all, thank you. Hello. I know we also have a lot of people on Twitter, which is, I have not figured out the whole comment system over there. But yeah, I really just wanted to leave this with this feeling like the future is really being built in all of these moments. And there's going to be a few keys that are not being taught in traditional education systems, obviously. There's going to be a few key things that separate the extraordinary from the ordinary. There are going to be things that separate the exciting from the mundane. And I find that the more humans that get to grab onto these keys, I'm going to be sharing more of these, but I find one of the biggest ones is around resiliency. It's around leaning in. It is around even recognizing when you feel like you are being stretched and feel like this invitation is coming up that you're like, I'm scared to claim it. I want to sit on the sidelines. You get to pause. You get to interrupt that thought. You get to breathe into it. And then you get to ask yourself, I'm feeling all these things. And would I rather sit on the sidelines or would I rather step into the arena? And then from there, you get to ask yourself, what kind of arena would you like to step into? It doesn't have to be a traditional one. It doesn't have to be one that you've seen in the past, but you get to sculpt and choose things as you'd like to see them to be that way as well. So it's like picking and choosing formulations. I find this is just going to be like one, especially like we have a whole bundle, bundle of extraordinary humans that live in the crypto world and the pulse chain space, crypto investors in general. I attract a whole bundle of black sheep. And part of that is like, if we're black sheep, if we're doing things in a different way, if we're contrarians in different ways, we are also going to be those trailblazers that are leading the way. And to do that, you have to get a little bit uncomfortable with the discomfort and lean in, lean in, lean in. Every single time you'll learn something new about yourself. I can guarantee that to you. So more than anything, today was just a little bit of a drop in around a conversation that I had with a friend, and this concept that frequently sits into my own world. As I feel like I've stretched myself in a way continuously every day, every week, every month. There are new big things going on in my world. And I think it's pretty cool to look back on any of our lives and be like, wow, I've lived a life that would have amazed my past self. Total amazement. And for me, that's kind of like a marker of like, okay, cool. We're like doing this thing right. Like, yes, I'm feeling stretched. Yes, I'm feeling these things. And also, I'm growing in so many ways that my past self would never have comprehended. I find crypto is one of the greatest tools for that as well, because we all know, like, the only thing that's guaranteed in crypto is volatility, is uncertainty. None of us can predict the future. Yet, for whatever reason, each one of us keep showing up every single day and keep leaving our economic energy, our money invested in these systems because we believe and we know it's part of the future. That is us aligning ourselves to the changing times, to the opportunity of exponential wealth, to more freedom ahead for ourselves, for our families, and anyone else who walks before us. So I think that is all we have for today. But I really just enjoy this concept in general, and I invite you to explore and take a little inventory of your own life to see what are the ways, like what are the invitations you have for yourself, like right in front of you, that almost feel like those little edgy invitations where you're like trying to lean out. You're like, I want to sit on the sidelines. I want to sit there. But then whether you want to say God, source, universe, all the signs in the world keep poking you, keep nudging you, being like, hey, you, hey, I see you there. Do you want to step in that arena? Do you want to go play? You see those stars that are on stage, those role models, those mentors of yours, they all inspire you for a certain reason. Do you want to go play with them too? They would love to play with you. They would love to hear your thoughts. They would love to create with you. They would love to have you as a competitor in their world as well. Do you want to step on that stage too? Do you want to do something different for yourself and for your life? Maybe something that excites you, but also scares you a little bit. Maybe just a little bit. I find for crypto, that's been a lot of people's experience, is it's something for, especially for the women in my world, a lot of times they come in with no financial literacy or limited financial empowerment. And so crypto is one of those spaces that may terrify people at certain times until they see all the ways that crypto is truly just the future. That money is just a tool. Money is a relationship. Money is something that they get to work for them. Money is something that we have work for us. And the more that we lean into those times, we understand why this stuff is not going away. We understand why there is future demand that keeps on increasing every single day for things like Pulse Chain. We understand how the things work behind the scenes. We understand how the community ticks. We understand generally what things are being built out there, that there's more demand, more partnerships. Everything keeps on rising. And it is not slowing down. In fact, it is only picking up. It's with that information, with that education, that we shift into deeper empowerment of ourselves and we start to change our future, because we are no longer sitting on the sidelines, but instead we have stepped into the arena. Okay, my friends, that feels like a pretty good note to leave on. If anyone has anything they would love to say, please feel free to drop it into the comment section. I absolutely loved being with you all today, even though we still had no comments. Tear. I'm Whitney Magic signing out for today. Love you all, silent watchers. Okay, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.